What up, everybody? Welcome to the Fly Zone live stream. This is something new that we're going to be doing now, where we're going to be doing live streams every time there's news update on FPV or anything like any hacks or routing and like walkthrough tutorials on it. But we'll do it live with everybody because when everyone's on the chats in the live feed and you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them for you. And so we're going to start doing something like this, something a little different. It's not going to be all the time. So whenever there's an update or any news on FPV, we're going to be doing this live with you, and we'll do walkthroughs and stuff like that, so you know what's going on. So, but yeah, welcome in everybody. It's great to see you guys all here tonight. You guys are going to learn something today. If this is something new and this is something that you want to look into doing on the Betaflight 4.4 WTFOS with the HD on your on-screen display, we're going to be showing you how to do that. We have special friend of ours, and we got two of them actually. We got Sammy that's going to be walking us through everything. We're going to be showing everything in detail, and we'll walk you through it. And Sammy from Ichysac FPV, and we have John Cuppi himself, the other man on FPV, the other master there. So yeah, let's bring in Sammy real quick, and then we'll read out everybody in the chats and say hello. So let's bring in Sammy from Ichysac FPV.
Hey, what's up,
boy?
everybody?
What's up, buddy? That's Sammy, Ichysac. Guys, if your sack is itchy, itch it.
Hey, Mike.
Cream for that.
Hey, guys, I got now. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go. My wife is getting very bad contraction. We have to go in.
Oh,
baby Sammy.
So, Sammy's gonna be little. Sammy's gonna be born,
guys. Sorry. Okay, but you guys can take over. But I'll just.
I got the search. Don't worry about it. We got this, man.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, love you, man. Say hi to the D. Love you guys.
Posted. Bye.
Oh, I'm excited now. All right, so remove Sergio. There you go. All right, so without further ado, let's get Johnny to replace Sergio. John Cuppi, what's up?
Hey, wow, that's really big news, man.
That's crazy. She just told him, you know, it's time. I think his baby's coming.
That is awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Oh,
so what's up, John?
Good to be here.
It's good. Good to have you, man. Glad you came. So yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Betaflight 4.4, not 4.3, 4.4 WTFOS HD display on your goggles. And before we do that, before we jump into everything, guys, just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. So we're going to start out from the top. We're going to say hi to TJ, Giggles and Drones. We got good old Dave from Fly High FPV, one of our sponsors. Let's see. U.S. Drone Flyer Captain Joe America. What's up, buddy? We got Doc Murdoch. Chris is in the house. We got Lambo Drives Zambo. We have Eat More Possum. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Wayne B in the house. What's up, Wayne? Marcel off Access FPV. We got Barkley, 107 Drones. And let's see. Who else? Chris Hope. Good old Chris Hope. Gotta love Chris Hope. We got Lee from Adventure FPV. What's up, buddy? My condolences to you, man. We got who is that? Derelict FPV. Is that how you pronounce his name? I'm sorry if I said it wrong. But yeah, that's who we have right now. So welcome in, guys. Welcome to the stream. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what we're going to do. So let's get started with the WTFOS WTFOS. Oh, Ken's calling me. That was Ken. Ken called me. Anyways, I'm sure he's watching. Ken, I can't answer, buddy. Sorry. All right. So let's get started. So, Sammy, let's explain what we're going to be doing with this Betaflight 4.4.
Well, to run the new 4.4 with the HD OSD, you have to have your Vista unit, Air unit, and goggles on the new WTFOS. And once you install that, you're going to have to upgrade your firmware, your flight controller to 4.4. And there's some options in the new 10.9 configurator that will let you set up that digital OSD on your goggles. It gives you the full Betaflight OSD in your DJI goggles.
There you go. And if anybody hasn't done that yet, we're going to show you that on how to do it and, the steps you have to take to do it. And then if you have any questions for any of us and for Sammy or for John, they're the men to do it. So, all right, let's see here. So you're starting up your quad. So Sammy's going to share some stuff.
Yeah, I'm working on getting WTFOS to connect. It sometimes can be a pain.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you do
got
any
a fan on your Vista?
All right, I got it connected now. You want to share a screen, Mikey?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me see.
All right.
Let me pull it up. Let me accept it.
Share a screen. You got it?
No, not yet.
Should be up. There we go.
There we go. Now I see it.
Got it?
Yep, got it.
Okay, well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to fpv.wtf. That's going to take you to a home screen. In that home screen, if you haven't already rooted your Vista unit or your goggles, this right here is going to say root. You're going to click on that. It's going to run through its thing. It'll be rooted. Then you're going to disconnect, power cycle, come back in, and you're going to go to, then this screen will come up. This is going to install the WTFOS. So we're going to go here, home, WTFOS, install. Then you're going to get this screen. You're going to install that. This is on the Vista user. If your unit is not rooted, it's going to say pigeon when you click on connect to device. It's not going to say your Air unit. It's going to come up with the word pigeon. You're going to click on that, and then once you do that, you'll come to this screen, and you're going to go through what it's going through right now. It doesn't take very long.
Right.
But in the meantime, you should have a fan pointed at your Air unit, though, because those things get toasty.
There you go. Yep, got to.
Yeah, you want to keep that Vista cool.
You cook an egg on those things with how hot they get.
I know, right?
Yeah, they do tend to get hot real quick. But then once you install this WTFOS package, you're done here. And then we'll go over to Betaflight and show you how to get the new 10.9 configurator and the 4.4 on your firmware. You're going to definitely want to make a backup in Betaflight before you flash the new 4.4, just in case. But even with the WTFOS, okay, now it's all installed. You can always go through and uninstall it. Okay, so the WTFOS is installed. Now we'll go over here. Let me power cycle everything.
Yeah, so jump into Betaflight now.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Betaflight now.
We're gonna do the MPOSD package and all that stuff, though, or
okay. Yeah, it didn't bring up the package, but John's right. If you go into WTFOS and you go home and you can go to Package Manager. And it's going to give you a whole list of things that you can add or take out. Like you can even, if you're rooting the goggle process is the same as it is what we just did. You're going to plug your goggles in, you're going to root it, you're going to put the WTFOS on it. But in that package list, you will also have the option to put the power hack and a couple of other things into your goggles if you want to, all within the WTFOS.
Oh, okay.
And you guys make sure you have to be in 4.4 to do this.
Well, you're going to get 4.4 right here because I'm going to actually update a flight controller that I have to 4.4.
Right. That's Betaflight configurator 10.9.0 RC1, right?
Yeah. Do you have a link to that in the chat you could throw up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get that.
You're going to go to this page here.
Yeah, I'll get that. I'll put it up.
Okay. You're going to download this configurator. You know, pretty much everybody's updated Betaflight before. You're going to go down to assets. You're going to pick out whatever system you're running. You know, here's Windows, here's Mac. You know, whatever you're going to run, you're going to install the 10.9 configurator.
Yeah, and the GitHub for Betaflight configurator, I have it in the description too as well. So I'll put that up in the chat as well, and we'll do that.
And it's going to take you here, the 10.9 configurator.
Yeah.
All right, just like with any other update, the first thing you want to do is go to presets. You're going to go over here and go save backup. Then, you know, of course, save your backup. And then the first thing you're going to do is go to ports. You're going to find your UART with your MSP on it. Okay, over here where it says, well, it might not be there yet. All right, it's not. Let's do the firmware update first. If you're not sure about what your board is, you can always click on here, auto detect. It's going to show you what your board is. Here it shows 4.4 already in here. If you put in show unstable releases, because it's not an official release yet. And see here, John, this is what I was telling you about the new setup on the new configurator. So we all know that ExpressLRS runs on Crossfire, but you have an option to put the ExpressLRS in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the preset for the RC link that you used to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And over here you can add the Mav link, and everything else is pretty much good to go right there.
Interesting. I've not played with 4.4. So basically you're doing the presets or selecting presets during the flash process. Interesting.
For your RC links and your telemetry and stuff like that, yeah. Because if you go to presets and you go to RC link right now, it doesn't have anything in there.
Right.
But the other presets, like for rates and things like that, are all in there right now. So now it's building the file.
Interesting.
Mark R. White, what's up? Welcome in. Kenny, sit here. Jonathan Jackson.
Let me get into DFU mode on this particular flight controller. And then we will flash this firmware. That'll take but a second.
So I had noticed, like, I guess you had multiple different presets selected there, or how does that work during the flash process? Because I'm a little actually confused on that. So I've not used this. So I saw Crossfire and ExpressLRS. I saw those all tagged there. Like, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, because you're right. Because the Crossfire preset should be fine for ExpressLRS because it uses the Crossfire protocol.
Right, but typically what I've always done was I've usually only just applied whatever preset belongs with the receiver that I'm using. So that's why, like, for this process, I was just wondering, like, is there something different or?
You know, that's a good question because I don't know for sure if because like you said, we used to be able to go to the presets and you could put in 250 hertz, ExpressLRS, 500 hertz, 150 hertz. That you don't have that right now in the 4.4 as it is a pre-release software. So I think
Gotcha.
by adding that ExpressLRS like I did in the firmware flash, it kind of fine tunes it for ExpressLRS.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't know why Crossfire was also there, but whatever. I'm just I'm just curious.
Yeah, because it's the same protocol, right? Yeah, I get you.
Drone shots, Jody. Welcome in, buddy.
It's the protocol. Yeah, it's the protocol. Right. But it's not an actual. Yeah, I get it.
Well, I'm wondering, like you are, I wondered the same thing when I seen the Crossfire, and then it had ExpressLRS option, because it uses the same, it uses Crossfire protocol. But I'm wondering if you put in the ExpressLRS option, it fine tunes it at least to maybe the 150 megahertz.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it should, if that's how it works. I mean, because right now what you do is you go to that preset section in 4.3 and you choose whatever receiver you're using and you set it up like that. But yeah,
right.
Interesting.
And I've been wondering if, because this is a pre-release, the 4.4, it's not the actual full release yet, if they will add those presets in the preset tab for that to fine tune it a little more. Well, now we got the firmware flashed. You're going to go connect, apply custom defaults. And then you just go back to presets. Now, I'll show you right here, John. Here's you got some. You got Crossfire 150. You got a few of them in here. But if you go to RC Link on its own, they have them now. They have them now.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, see now, like when I installed mine, like 4 or 5 days ago, these presets didn't show up.
Okay, so then you could just go down and select what you're using. See, this is what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's why I was saying. That's why I told you they weren't there, because 4 or 5 days ago when I did this the first time, these didn't show up. It said RC Link and it said no presets available.
Gotcha.
So see how they're starting to add them in. So I'm going to go with the 500 because that's what I run.
Yep.
On this particular quad, I run Freestyle, Serial RX. I'm not using DJI, and I use single cell values on mine. All this is just how you get your firmware flashed out, but it has nothing to do really with the OSD at the moment.
Right.
So this part is pretty much the same as 4.3.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yep.
Now you see I'm not getting all the flags and all this stuff's kind of back to normal. So now I will go back and load the backup I just saved. And then that's going to put in all my presets, my model, all my switches and all that stuff. That's what you do the backup for.
It's okay to take a diff from 4.3 and just put it on 4.4 then without you can just directly do that?
Yep, 4.3 you can just put it right in.
Our boy 608 in the house. What's up, buddy? Welcome in, man.
All right, that's cool. Because I know you can't do that from 4.2 to 4.3. It will not work.
4.3 to 4.4, you can diff all if you wanted and put it right in.
Okay, that's pretty good to know.
608. Sammy, right now, Sammy's doing this on the 4.4, right, Sammy?
Yeah, we're on the 10.9 configurator, and if you look right up here, it says now on this flight controller, I'm running 4.4.
There you go.
And there's actually only 3 things you need to do to get the OSD and the digital OSD. The first one is you're going to come here to ports. You're going to find your MSP UART. You're going to go over here, and you're going to click on VTX MSP plus DisplayPort.
Right.
Okay. And then you're going to save and reboot. Then the next things you have to do is go to the CLI, and you're going to type in get display. Okay. And right up here where it says OSD DisplayPort device, it says auto. You're going to change this to MSP. So just highlight this, copy it, bring it down here, paste it in, and change auto to MSP. Okay,
easy peasy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Put MSP Yeah, that's right. Let me try this again. No, that's fine.
No.
It'll be all right. OSD, yeah, it's right here. Oh, you're gonna change this line.
Right. You had
Good.
I think a hashtag right before it.
Yeah,
So I probably didn't.
yeah, I got you. See, it's there now, right?
Yeah.
Change that to MSP. I don't know. It's freaking me out.
Oh, set first. That's right. 60.608 makes a point.
Oh yeah, set OSD display port. Okay, yeah, my bad.
Thanks, buddy.
Daryl in the chat is bringing up a really good point. So Betaflight 4.4, for you guys who may not be aware, it is not a nightly build anymore.
No.
It has hit release candidate 1, and release candidates tend to be pretty darn stable. Granted, it is still technically a test build, and the official final copies are always the most stable. But if you don't mind giving a release candidate a test, it's not like you're running a nightly build.
Right.
They put these out when they feel that they are close to making it a final release.
Yeah, and it's like we were just talking a minute ago. John was asking me about the presets, and I told him there was no RC link presets. Well, like 4 or 5 days ago, there wasn't. But in this, when I updated now the presets are in there. So I might have got it a little early before the full RC1 came out. But everything in here is pretty much the same. It's 4.3, except there's a few little options like the one that we're working on now.
Yep.
So, all right, you're right. Got the OSD display port set to MSP. Now you're going to go to get VCD. And you're going to VCD. Okay, under get VCD right here where it says VCD video system equals auto. You're going to change auto to the now HD. So you're going to copy this. Give me a minute. Don't want all that. Let's try it again.
Can you select that option on the OSD page as well, basically? I mean, you could do it from there too, right?
Well, you got to set this first, and then in the OSD page, it will come up as something that you can check
okay.
on.
See, that's interesting.
If you don't put this in first, you won't get the HD option.
Oh, okay.
Right,
So it won't even show up. Okay, interesting.
Right. Yeah, it won't show up under the OSD. You have to do these 2 steps, and that's it. Then you're done. Then you can go to the OSD. HD. Come on.
You're going to do set, not get, I think.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That's it.
I'm old. Okay, give me a minute.
I'm old. Sammy says I'm old.
I wouldn't say anything. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help.
Thank you, John.
I've done the same thing before.
It happens. Look who's in the chats.
There we go.
Mr.
Our
Ed,
boy,
Ed
Ricker. What's up, Ed? Good to see you, man.
Ed does some pretty fun live streams.
You make CLI changes.
There you go.
Then you're going to come back in here. Now you're going to go to OSD. Now, over here, you will notice there's a new video format, HD. Okay? You're going to click on the HD video format. Then you're going to put in whatever stuff you want to put into your display. And, you can, just like everything else, you move stuff around. You put stuff where you want it. It will allow you to have the full Betaflight OSD in your DJI goggles. And when you change the font to digital, I know they look big here, but in the goggles, they are crystal clear and sweet. And you
There you
have
go.
everything you want to put, and it's just like any other OSD you would have on analog or whatever. You will get the when you disarm, you'll get the full report in your goggles, and if you do the gimbal sticks, you know, the left yaw with the forward pitch, it's going to bring up the full Betaflight menu where you can go through and change your PIDs. You can change it's the full Betaflight OSD.
What's
but it's
up,
in
Bob?
digital in your goggles.
Right. That's awesome. See, guys?
And that's
Easy
that's
peasy.
all the steps you have to do.
That's it. Easy peasy, man.
Absolutely, and this is what's significant about 4.4 in that you could do it on 4.3, but there's a whole nother rigmarole that you kind of have to go through to arrange those icons on the OSD page. You kind of can't just put them where you want because Betaflight 4.3 and under don't have that HD canvas. This basically they don't have that 16:9 canvas setup. So you have to it's just annoying. 4.4 just seems to make it super easy.
Yeah, because like you said, John, in the 4.3, you had a grid, like a grid map where you could put stuff on the screen in places where you couldn't put the stuff. But now with the full HD in the OSD, you can pretty much put anything anywhere.
Yeah,
It's already out, John.
Oh.
No, I'm talking to you guys can talk. I'm talking to Unlimited Vertical, John. It's already out, John.
But
it's
one
release
thing to
candidate
note,
though.
Yeah, it's a release
if you're running 10.8 configurator and you go to update your firmware, it will not show you the 4.4. You have to be running the 10.9 configurator. The 10.8 does not show the 4.4 release yet in the firmware update because the 4.4 does not work with the 10.8 configurator.
Yeah,
so
guys,
the first thing you want to do is update that configurator.
And I'll have the link in the description below to UAV Tech did a good video on it. He can show you too as well. Or you can just watch this one here.
Did a good one too on.
Yeah,
if you want to
Madstech
go
too.
to Madstech
Eon.
and check out the WTFOS, he did a real good one on that.
Yeah, Eon did a good job on that too. So, yeah, they did it. They did a pretty good job, absolutely.
There was a question about recording the OSD. Did you want to do that, Sam?
I don't know how to record the OSD, but I do know that 4.4 gives you, if you have a GPS card, it gives you return to home and land.
Just like a GPS drone, just like a camera drone, right? It'll land straight to where it took off. Well, not exactly, probably.
It will land within probably 6 feet of where it took off, and when it hits the ground, because of the gyro jolt, it automatically disarms. You don't have to do nothing. And there's been a couple of videos out there already about that, but that's only in 4.4.
I do think they say though that before you use that, at least right now, at least while it's RC, make sure you test it in like a wide open space because I think they're still tweaking that here and there, and you might have to tweak some settings depending on what kind of quad that you're running. But yeah, it is pretty cool how it just can pretty much self land now.
Well, what a game! Right. Go ahead, Sam.
Some of the stuff you have to put in CLI commands for your throttle position and things like that, because that sets the hover for individual quads if they're hovering or whatever. You have to set in throttle positions and stuff. But once you lock all that in, from the videos I've seen, I haven't tried it yet. I have one set up to try that on, but I haven't done it yet. But it looks pretty cool.
I want to hop my Flywheel Explorer up, which is on 4.2 though, so I've got to do a little bit more to go to 4.4. But definitely motivation for me to do that.
But what a game changer in Betaflight, huh? How they're improving with everything.
Well, and you stop to think about it too. If you got 10 different Vista units or Air units and whatnot, and the V2 goggles, at the moment, there's really no reason to go for the O3 unit, because the O3 unit, I guess, gives you the canvas mode, right? Well, now you can have the full canvas mode in your V2s. without
Yeah,
having to
and now
buy
the
the
V2s are also
tree.
rootable no matter what version you're on. They just put out an update for that too. You like before you have to worry about it. Now you can just root it. You don't have to worry about it.
And one other thing too is if you don't like the WTFOS display, you can uninstall that, but it doesn't unroot your goggles, so you don't have to go back and root them again. You can always just go, if WTFOS comes out with something new that you do like, you can always just reinstall it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the WTFOS display, there's a way to get around that too, because when they load that on your goggles, it loads on like number 1 partition. Number 2 partition will stay DJI. And if you don't want the WTFOS to load in your goggles, when you start your goggles, you're going to hold the bind button and the power button. You hold those two together, and when it starts, it will boot into regular DJI mode. So you have the best of both worlds.
I know we're on about DJI right now, by the way, but that HD option is also really good if you're running HD0 too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Because
I would imagine, yeah.
well, they basically kind of had to do the same thing with HD0. It wasn't as much of a pain in the ass, but there were some issues with getting elements to the corners and certain places. Now you can pretty much do it perfectly the way you want it.
Yeah, by Betaflight opening up that HD canvas, you do have the whole area that you can work in instead of specific spots.
Right,
So
exactly.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
So John, you're flying that new that wing, same one that Ed Ricker has, right?
The He-Wing,
Yeah, dude.
man.
Dude, I'm liking. I saw your TikTok videos, and then you're on that.
I love that thing, man. It's really, really fun. I mean, I've never. It was my first fixed wing, and I've got WTFOS on that as well. It's a dream. If you're using WTFOS with iNav, it's like the chef's kiss, because you really need all of those elements on the screen. Like to not have a full OSD. Look, to not have a full OSD in, if you're just flying a 5-inch or whatever, I've always thought it's not that big of a deal. Once you go WTF, it's really hard to go back because it's nice. It's like eye candy. But at the end of the day, I could live without it. But if you're flying iNav where you want to see everything going on, it's a total different story. And that was one of my main that was actually one of my main motivators for getting WTF working. Was iNav and that plane.
Yeah.
I think the thing that
Ed flew tonight, he said. He crashed
it. Yes. Ed streams are fun. I love Ed streams.
Is that the foam wing that you got, John?
Yes.
The foam one, yeah.
Yeah, we're all flying the same. We're all flying the same thing, more or less. But Ed flies with no flight controller. It's just wired right into a receiver. He's just manually flying all over the place through there. My plane almost practically flies itself with what I have in it, because I put a GPS in there. It's fully it could almost be a Mavic, to tell you the truth. The thing could almost fly itself practically.
So John, I have a question. I have a question for you and Ed. I'm thinking about getting into like a wing like you guys have. Now, the difference between that and a quad flying, is it harder to control or is it a little easier to control?
I mean, it's different. You won't have if you're used to having the yaw authority that you're used to. You're not going to have that, right? Especially if you get a plane that doesn't have a rudder, which the He-Wing has no rudder on it. So you're not going to turn on a dime. The other thing is, I guess, with a plane, you really need to have good weather conditions, right? With a quad, I kind of don't care what the wind is like,
right?
To a point. But the threshold for how much wind I want to fly in with a plane is much lower than with a quad. So that's just some stuff to consider, honestly. And planes are less forgiving in crashes as well.
True.
They're less forgiving in crashes. You also have to worry about things like center of gravity. A lot. These are things we really don't think about too much on our quads because with the way the frames are designed, it's practically built into it. But with a plane, though, you have to worry about, well, how heavy is my battery? Is my tail too heavy? Is my nose too heavy? There's also a phrase I've learned amongst plane guys who have taught me. A nose-heavy plane will fly like crap, but a tail-heavy plane will fly once and then never again. That's what I've been told. Yeah. And it's basic stuff that fixed wing guys know, but if you have no idea, it's a big learning experience.
My
Landing
wings
What about-
landing too is a
were
pain
all
in the
direct
ass.
servo.
Yeah.
No flight controller.
Yep. Some people do that too. Yep. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
So I guess in that, and flying that way, you would be all in control, right? There's
There
nobody
you go.
helping you.
Ed Ricker
Ed makes a
agrees.
great point. You have to keep up a certain speed to not stall. Like I need to be moving at about 20 to 25 miles an hour with my He-wing, or else it'll start to stall. It just won't fly right. Like with a quad, you can be so chill, you can hover. I've tried to have some friends follow behind my He-wing with their Mavic Air 2, and you know, they'd be like, slow down. And I'm like, I can't. I literally can't slow down. Like, so I just come back and circle again so they can get on me. I mean, you have to keep moving. So that's another thing to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby can fly those things like nothing, dude.
Yeah. And the wind. Ed Ricker has struggled with the wind as well. Yeah, you can't just throw it up and say whatever. You've got to watch it.
Yeah. So hey, there you heard it, guys. It's a little different. And thanks for that, man. Thanks for that, John.
Yep. And if you're flying DJI and you want to do fixed wing, WTFOS and iNav, that is where it's at.
Jonathan Jackson, itchy.
Well, it's good, family.
I feel like there's a lot more that can go wrong when you're flying fixed wing too. I mean, there's all the little servos, there's there's a lot more moving parts, so to speak, that can bite you in the ass.
That's true.
Like Ed showed me, and he's got a crash on his channel, or the plane just nosedived into the ground. The only reason that happened was because one of the servo plastic holder clips came loose on the tail, and it was basically stuck in that downward position, and he just went right into the ground. And stuff like that can happen if you don't.
With
you got
the
glue
servos,
the crap out of everything is what I've learned. Just glue everything.
And then again, too, anytime you have servos, I used to race on-road cars, 1/8 scale on-road cars with the steering servos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I'd go off into a corner and this sucker would just go straight because a little piece of sand or something got up in the servo and it got stuck. And so there's a lot of things that you got to watch out for if you're flying servo only.
And they're not expensive, right? Something breaks, they're not expensive, the parts on the wing, right? John? They're not that expensive.
I mean, generally speaking, no. But again, I guess you got to be careful what kind of crash you have, because you can end up having a pretty damn expensive crash with a plane. It all depends on how you go down.
What's the all-in cost on one of those wings like that one you got?
The plug and fly kit, the PNP kit, is about $160. But then if you want to do what I did and go all out and add a flight controller and a GPS and all that crap, right. I have about 400-ish, 450 just in the plane at this point.
And can't you even upgrade the tailpiece?
Yeah, you did.
Like
I put a carbon fiber tail boom on mine. Yep.
Yeah,
I should bring it. I've got it sitting in the garage. I should have it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going near nitro helicopters, Doc.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh man.
Seems to me like a helicopter would be real hard to fly.
Yeah,
I've
Chris needs
tried
to fly those
toy helicopters. They're not easy.
Doc Murdoch flew those nitros, man.
Oh yeah, he's OG. He's old.
He RC'd almost like human-sized ones. He showed one time that was just huge, and that's going to hurt somebody. if I'm flying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when helicopters crash too, you break a lot of parts.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I shouldn't complain too much about the wing. It's actually done pretty well. I have crashed it a bit, and it's been all right. But I could see, or if you have a decent crash, the thing will break. It's EPP foam, so it's not like styrofoam that you would pull out of an Amazon box or something like that. It's a little stronger than that. If you get the gray
Now,
foam, it's stronger than the white foam.
what kind of batteries do you run on that? Regular LiPos or lithium ion packs or?
Hey,
You
Ray.
can run a LiPo if you want. I run a lithium ion pack. I should just
Okay.
bring this damn thing out here. Jeez.
More like
Yeah,
a
bring it
more
out,
like
bring
a
it out, bring it
long-range
out.
pack, right?
Captain Ray Kelly says hi, Ichysac.
What up, Ray? How you doing,
Good.
man?
It's always good to see you, Ray.
Yeah, Ray's a good guy.
So, yeah, if anybody has any questions on this Betaflight 4.4 WTF OS with the HD, if you have any questions that you want to shoot over to
It's pretty
Sammy or John,
straightforward.
yeah,
It's
just let
pretty
us know.
straightforward, like I showed you. The only step that you didn't see is when you plug into the WTFOS configurator, there's going to be a box that says root. You're going to click that box and you're going to root first, and then you'll come back to the box that I had where it says install WTFOS.
Yeah, in order
It's the exact same process on your goggles. Plug them in, root box, install WTFOS, and you're done.
And in order to do that, WTFOS is your goggles have to be on a certain firmware. On your
You want to be
DJI
on
goggles.
606 for the DIY side.
Yep. You can downgrade now if you need to with their
Right.
tool. So if you're stuck on a firmware,
Don't get
that
locked out on that other one, guys.
Yep.
You're screwed. You can't do it.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the DJI FPV side. It's all on the Vista air unit side.
Right.
Yep.
I don't think my goggles I've never ventured over into the other side. I have no reason to yet.
Ed, that has not been brought up, and that's actually a really good thing to mention. WTFOS seems to screw up USB-C video out. Like if you use the FPV out or the wide FPV app to get video from your goggles to your PC to do like live streaming on YouTube, don't root the goggles and don't install any of that stuff, because for some reason it just breaks it. Ed struggled with that out in the field, and I was unable to get my V1 goggles to work with live streaming anymore either after I rooted. So you do give up that ability, at least for now.
Yeah.
Does it mess up DigiView also? That's what you're saying? DigiView
it messed up. I tried DigiView. I tried Cosmo Streamer. I could not get it to connect. Don't know why.
My boy Brad is in here. Jinx FPV. What's up, buddy?
I imagine that'll probably be fixed at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. So let's see that thing, man.
Here, check out the plane.
Yeah, that's the exact same one Ed has. Same one.
It's the same thing that Ed has. The only difference with mine is that I just have a flight controller and a GPS inside. And here we go. This is the inside here.
Now those wings are held on with a bar, like a stick, right? Like a long.
Yes, that's right. There's a bar right here in the center.
There you go. Okay.
As you could see, and they're not just held on with that. The wings click on and off. Here, I'll show you. Oh, my cat decides to jump in my thing. I've got
Eddie
tape.
Nunez. What's up, buddy?
I've got tape on the bottom.
What's up, Eddie? How you doing, man?
Yeah, Eddie wants to know, have we tested?
No one here has.
Yeah. Eddie, I have one set up to do that. I'm just figuring out the CLI commands for my throttle position and stuff like that. But I will test it, and I will post a video on my channel.
Yeah, do it on an open field the first time, bro. Big open field.
No, do it right in the middle of the trees. It'll make it. But the videos I have seen, the people have set it up. It does seem to work pretty good.
So yeah, see, it's held by a stick. Yep.
Right, but it's got a connector
okay.
on the wing. See the wing? So if you wanted to, you could just replace the whole wing if you had to. And there's a little connector.
Yep. What's up, Charles? So Dave says that's why I didn't root. I need directors to be able to plug in DigiView, Wtfos, or a smart controller.
And you are smart
Right.
to not root if you need that.
Yeah,
because
not
there's
yet.
Right.
no solution to that at the moment, which
Right.
is really annoying, but it is what it is.
It seems like you get something, but you have to give up something too.
Exactly. It's always like that.
Kind of figure out what you need.
You lose some, you get some, and you lose some.
Well, honestly, I've always had trouble. I've honestly always had trouble with FPV out anyway. So it's why I rarely use it.
Oh, you remember earlier, John, you were talking to me about my my Flywoo, my Explorer.
Right.
The reason that got burnt up is because my wife was flying when she was first learning, right? And I had the DigiView set up, and I was watching her.
You turned off the power. Did
you have
the
to turn off the heat protection?
Yeah,
right.
Which
and
you
see,
have
I wasn't smart. Yeah, I wasn't smart enough to realize that I could have got in her goggles and turned the heat protection back on. So at least then I had time to get it out of the tree, but I never did turn that on. So by the time I got it out of the tree, this thing was smoked. That Vista unit was, I couldn't even touch it. You couldn't even touch it. It just burned up the MSP port.
This is a good question. My understanding was 608 is fine. I'm on 608 on V1. I have been for
you can on you can on the V2s. I think Joshua Parwell did a video on it.
I think so as well.
Yeah, it will. Because
as far as I know, there was nothing in that firmware update except for like DJI just added a flag to allow that camera, and that was it. They didn't try to lock anything out or whatever.
Yeah, Sergio has the run cam link. Sergio has the run cam link, and he did it.
Oh, okay. So then he's good.
It's good with the 608.
There's no changes in the firmware whatsoever. It just added support for that camera.
So there you go, Daryl.
So,
go ahead and update.
Yeah.
I would update. I mean, I jumped to 608 on the V1s because it was not even a question, and I figured, hey, I might end up with that camera at some point, so might as well just bring everything up to date.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just a question: is that Link camera? Is that a 120 or a 60?
I think it's a 120.
Oh, is it? So you got full camera control in the goggles?
You don't have full camera control in the goggles. That is the catch. It run cam hard coded settings, and I guess they're the most popular settings. I think it's just standard, and I forget what other settings they put in there. But you do not have camera control with that camera, unfortunately.
Yeah, kind of like the difference between the Polar Pro. And then the other one, here we go. I told you, Mikey, earlier when we were talking, I'd have one of these. It's the other CADX Vista camera that you have full camera control.
Okay,
and on the Polar Pro, you don't have full camera control.
Right.
But the Link
settings
camera is a 120, but you don't have settings for the camera?
Like the exposure and stuff like that?
Yeah. White balance, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not on the Link. No, you don't get that in the Link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's worth updating though, so that way you can use that camera if you want to one day, and then you don't have to go back and update all your crap.
Right.
Right. But I mean, these updates are pretty straightforward, and they keep adding things. Who knows what WTF OS is going to do next week?
Sam, have you ever have you ever had your firmware become corrupt on WTF OS?
No.
See, I have. I was working on my plane, and the Vista, the firmware became corrupt. But the cool thing is, supposedly, this latest update to WTF fixes that issue, basically.
Well, there was an update for the WTF OS too, from I think it's .0.2 to 0.8.
Yep.
So if you are running WTF OS, there is an update from your original version.
Yeah,
and that had something to do
there's
with
a
the
nerdy
image
explanation. And there's a nerdy explanation that I can give for the chat here. The WTFOS used to be installed in slots on the air unit as well as the goggles. And what would sometimes happen is if you unplugged and replugged in too quick, or your air unit overheated and shut down, you could literally have what is called slot corruption, and then you would have to reroute and reinstall WTFOS. But now that they have that downgrade tool and reset tool or whatever, there's no need for there to be 2 firmware slots on these devices. So that issue supposedly can't occur anymore. So that's my understanding anyway.
Right. Well, that's how you're able to have the WTFOS in one slot and DJI in the other slot.
Package manager, Daryl, package manager, just update from there. Oh, no, wait a minute. A firmware. Crap, I don't know.
There's an update button on WTFOS. If you already have it installed, you're going to click on the update button, and it's going to show you where you're at now and if there's an update.
I think they might be asking how to go from 606 to 608.
Oh, Dave.
Oh, the DJI firmware?
Yeah, if you're already rooted, I guess you just do it, right?
You can still do it as long as you root before you update the firmware.
Yeah. Okay.
The root will stay.
So that's all he has to do then.
One of those? Yeah. Root first and then update to the 608.
Well, he's already rooted. So if he's already rooted, then he just needs to update the firmware and then reinstall MPOSD and WTFOS and all that stuff, right?
Hey, Brad.
Right. But the root will stay. So, yeah.
The root will stay, right. But everything else gets blown away.
Yep. And then, like I said, while you're at it, go ahead and check the update button on the WTFOS and update to the latest version.
Well, I think if he's going to blow away the firmware, he might as well just blow that away and then install WTFOS because it's going to overwrite it anyway.
Yeah, Derelict's asking that question. But if you're already rooted, you can update the firmware and then just reinstall WTFOS.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
What's up, Neil? Good to see you, buddy. Have you done it yet, Neil? The 4.4 Betaflight with the WTFOS for the HD. So yeah, we just explained it earlier on here. We showed everything. Sammy showed it all, and John explained a lot of it too. And Sergio did it already on his, and he says he loves it. So I haven't done it yet. You
will love it. You will love it when you do it, man.
Yeah, I'll do it.
It's easier than ever now to do it because you don't have to deal with the grid crap that Sam was talking about. Because before the way it worked, you wouldn't just be able to go to the OSD page in Betaflight and arrange things as you would expect to see them on the screen. Like there was a whole rigmarole. There was a grid you needed to follow. It was sort of a pain in the ass. It threw me off, honestly, for like a good hour. I was like, what is going on here? How come I can't make this work? So yeah, just use DJI Assistant. Yeah. Just use DJI Assistant, go from 606 to 608. You're already rooted, so not a big deal. But then after that, you're gonna have to reinstall WTFOS, I guess.
Yeah, do it, Neil.
And then reinstall your packages.
Like
iNav is a little trickier, by the way, with WTFOS. There's a few things you need to do with iNav that's different from Betaflight.
It seems like iNav has some of the stuff that Betaflight's just now coming out with, but they had it before, like the return to home and land. But doesn't iNav require a GPS with a compass for that?
What's up, Juan?
For a quad, yes. For a quad, it requires a GPS with a compass. For a plane, no. You can just have a GPS. Just have a regular GPS. Don't need a compass.
Oh, okay.
In fact, they tell you don't put a compass. It's not advised if you have a plane.
All right, let me ask you one question, John. You might know.
Sure.
Why is it that on 99% of my flight controllers, the barometer doesn't do anything? If you
I don't
enable
know.
the barometer in Betaflight, you get a 12C error.
I don't
Wow.
know, man.
You know?
Twinkle toes, twinkle toes.
The only flight controller I think that has a barometer that I'm aware of in my collection is the Flywoo. I think it works. I think I see what my altitude is and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't say
Okay.
I've had any trouble with that on my Flywoo.
Very true, Joe. Very true.
Other ones though, I have no idea. I don't usually play with the barometer.
Yeah, I don't either. I just disable it, but it's usually turned on by default, and you get a 12C error.
Ooh, I want to see that, Neil.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
interesting.
I saw it in the TikTok, somebody's TikTok video that he tried it, I think, or Instagram it was, and it looked like it worked, but it didn't show the pilot without his hands on the controller. So I was kind of like skeptical about it. Like, dude, why didn't you show the pilot like GPS rescue, like got his hands off a little bit off the sticks? And how do I know he didn't land it himself?
Yeah, I seen one video that the guy did do that. He showed had the camera shining on the video, the quad coming down, and then he showed down here that his radio was sitting on the
Oh,
table.
he did? I didn't see that one. That one I
Yeah.
didn't see.
But see, look, Neil, you have to go into the CLI, and you can't do it in the Betaflight configurator. If you try setting up your GPS in the configurator, it will never find it. You have to do all CLI commands at the moment to get that return to home and land to work. That's one of the things we forgot to mention. Because I've tried setting up my GPS in the configurator, it just won't find it. You have to go into CLI, enable feature GPS, and then put all the other settings in manually, and then it will work.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
You can't just click on the GPS button and then put it to whatever you put it to, and then set it up that way. You have to go into the CLI and enable GPS feature.
I thought, okay, but for the 4.4 rescue feature though, I thought that this is a separate issue. I think I thought that you didn't need a compass for it to self land, or so you don't. So interesting. But if you do have a compass on though, I guess it can cause problems. I'm looking at the release page here. Oof. It says do not enable compass unless it's been properly calibrated. Ooh.
Right.
So
you have to calibrate the compass first, so it's showing a true north, and then you can do that. But the Betaflight GPS rescue doesn't require a compass to.
So
but to self land though doesn't need a compass. That's what I'm asking.
Well, I don't think it does, because the GPS rescue used to always work whenever, if you didn't fail safe, but if you kicked it in on your own to test it, put it into return to home mode, mine have always came back, and they would just hover above me. They would just go around in circles, and then that would let me take back over control. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think there's a compass needed for it just to come down and land.
That's what I thought too for this 4.4 update as well, but I wasn't sure because none of mine for Betaflight have a compass. So like, that would be a shocker if I needed to use that.
Yeah, none of mine do either, and they've always come back and hovered just above me. Like if you fail safe, it just comes back. You look up and it's up there hovering. You take over control.
Gotcha.
So I don't see the need for a compass just for it to come down and land.
You should report it to the Betaflight Deb so people don't have to do that in the CLI. They could probably create something for that.
Well, they said right up front when they came out with the return to home and land that you can't configure that in the Betaflight configurator. It has to be done all through CLI commands. They told everybody that. So I don't know if they're going to add that to future updates of the 10.9 configurator, or how they're going to do it.
Neil put a great link that everybody who's going to mess with the GPS rescue for 4.4 should read before they mess with it. It's got a lot of good info.
Let me see. Where did he put it in here?
He put it in the chat. Yeah, he put it in the chat. Everybody should read that if they're going to mess with the GPS rescue. I'll be messing with that with my Flywheel Explorer at some point.
Not bad. All right.
Oh, it tells you got to set there, you rotate towards home. You know, basically you got to make this. You got to fly the flight, bring it home, bring it down to where you want it to land, and then it will set.
Dizzy Dean, what's up, my man? Great supporter of the channel. Gotta love Dizzy Dean. So Brad knows. Well, Brad wants the Vada to play with.
Oh man, don't get hung up on real FPV. God, I hate it when I see people dog on other people for flying stuff like the Avata or whatever. Like, just fly and have fun. God, no, seriously, there are people that will just be absolute humps about somebody flying the Avata. You're not flying real FPV. It's like, leave the dude alone. They're just having a good time, man. Jeez, as far as I'm concerned, if you have goggles on and you're flying a drone, you are flying FPV.
Yeah,
Okay?
just have fun, man.
If you're having fun, screw it. The Avata is a great drone. I will say it is a shame the remote ID update for it requires you to be tethered to that stupid phone, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I seen that video, Neil.
In Dobo's video, he showed that all you have to do is be tethered to the phone when you first arm. Once it's armed, you can take off and unplug that phone, and you can rearm after that going forward.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because in his test he couldn't arm, and he plugged his phone in. Then he could arm, but then he unplugged his phone, put the phone back in the bag, and he was able to fly no problem.
Okay,
So,
interesting.
You know,
that almost seems like a hole or a problem with remote ID compliance, but we're not gonna tell the FAA. We're just
no, that seems like kind of a door that DJI left open.
Yeah, and for all the crap that they got about it, God's honest truth, guys, I'm kind of shocked at how many people were thrown for a loop that the Avata was brought into compliance for remote ID. It's like it's really not a shocker. It's been on the list for a while.
Right.
It was gonna happen. It's above 250 grams, and
yeah.
But a lot of people were shocked. No, the Avata's a fun drone. The Goggle 2 sucks, but Ken Dono might have a solution for that.
He did. He made shims for him. Did you see it?
I saw those shims. Yeah, not available yet, but I would definitely love to try them. See, I don't have Goggle 2. A friend of mine has it, so if he gets the shims,
I've been trying to talk myself into getting the Goggles too, but when everybody compares them with the fogging issue and they don't fit right, I get the fit is different for everybody else, but the fogging issue and if you're running the WTFOS with what we just showed with the digital OSD, because the Vista unit's not going to put out 1080 to those goggles, right? So you're not getting a 1080 output like you would with an 03 unit,
right?
So what is the big reason to upgrade from the V2s to the G2s?
If you want to get the 03, that's it. The 03 camera, really.
The V2s run with the 03. The V2s run.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, if you want something smaller form factor, maybe it's good to upgrade. But you have to use the 03 if you want that better image. But
smaller form factor,
I think I'm just gonna stick with my V2s and put an 03 on board.
My biggest
and MPOSD is built in to the Goggle 2 as well. So if you don't want to do WTF, then they did add it to the Vistas and the Air units. But I like WTF better though. You've got more options with WTF. So
see, my biggest reason for wanting to get the G2s is like you, John. I wear glasses, and with the G2s, you got the adjustable diopters that you could probably dial in where you don't have to need your glasses.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I need to have my glasses in mine. Yeah, so I hear you on that.
Yeah,
and Lon is right. I saw there's a Chinese company that made some third-party foam. I've seen that come out. It's like a 50-50 deal as far as I saw in the group. Some people say it made their experience better. Some people said it was the same. But hands down, for form and fitment, the V2 is still the king, honestly. The V2 is
You
still
know,
the king.
Lon and Neil are both saying, you know, right now the V2s are the best option because they work with the O3 unit. They work with all your other units. You have
Yeah.
the foam. It has a fan built in, so there's no fogging issues. And if you are running the O3 unit, don't those go up to 810 from the 720p?
Yeah, it goes up to 810.
Yeah. I don't have 810 eyes. My eyes are old. I can't, you know, any higher than that, I'm not going to notice much difference.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
maybe it's,
you know, I was so stoked for the Goggle too. I really, really was. And
do
when I
love the
first
form
got to see
factor.
them in person, because a good friend let me try them, I was expecting to put them on and just be in total awe. And I was for like 10 minutes. And then I started to realize, like, damn, why can't I get why are these corners blurring? What is going on here? And I kind of just flew the Avata and didn't think much of it. But then very quickly I realized my nose hurts and the optics are a disaster. So I very quickly fell out of love with that product. And I wanted to like it. I genuinely did. But I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see. I heard a lot of people told me there's going to be a foam. There's going to be a foam for sure that'll fix all the problems by now.
But wait, didn't they come out with a foam already? I think I seen a foam already made for it.
DJI has not done a thing to
No, not
address
DJI.
anybody's
oh,
problems.
third party.
No, there's a third party foam on AliExpress.
Right.
And it's 50-50 from what I've seen. Some people say that it's better for them, and for other people it's either the same problem or maybe it solved one, but yeah, it's not really a reputable vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the biggest ones that I've heard of, like you were saying, is the fogging issue, and then inside the display, if you get it to where you can see the side edges, you actually see the overlap in the center from each one of the lenses.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to get a good clear vision.
It's the vignetting, yeah. And there's another problem too, and it's that even when you decrease the display size, right? So that way you're not having to look at the corners and seeing blurry image in the corners. The display size is the only thing that moves. The corner OSD elements, they stay, they don't move. So if you have a corner that's blurry or smears, for example, like your battery life and all your stats that you might see in the corner, you can't change that. You can't move that around, at least not with the Avata. But you're stuck. You're stuck having to see that blurry ass corner. So
yeah, Ed Ricker's right. I seen a lot of things on the O3 that in low light performance is terrible.
Yep, I have too. But I mean, the O3 is pretty amazing for what they've done. There's nothing like it, but I guess that's one of those compromises.
Yeah, it's good for day flying. Absolutely.
I'm screwed on O3 unless I get new goggles at the moment. My V1s are just not compatible.
Yeah. Now, if you go to upgrade your V1s, would you go V2 or all the way to G2?
I feel like
given all the issues in the G2s.
Yeah, I feel like here's what I would do, Sam. If the comfort issues in Goggle 2 could magically be solved overnight, or they put out a Goggle 2 with a fan, a fix, and all that crap, right? Hypothetically speaking, then I would probably buy the G2 and, just use that. And maybe I would just keep my V1s for WTFOS,
Yeah, because a lot of people, even Ian over at Madstech, he said, he reports all the issues with the G2s, but he said he still prefers the G2s. Given the fogging, given the vision on the display, given the fit, everything else, he still prefers the G2s.
The V2s rocked.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were a good product.
Now, what about, has anybody heard anything more about the Goggles Lite?
Oh, I haven't heard nothing. No,
pretty quiet on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet.
Now, I wonder if that will come out with maybe a lesser screen, but then fix the things that are wrong with the current G2s, like put a fan in it and different things like that.
I just don't know how
Lon.
DJI got it so wrong. Like, I've got Fat Sharks, I've got Sky Zones, I've got all these other goggles that I've no problems with, and I put those on, and it's just how I say to myself, how did DJI screw it up for so many people? Ugh.
Yeah.
Still getting comments all the time on the video that I made about it. I'm expecting after Christmas to just get an explosion of people who open their Avata for Christmas and then they're flying it and they're like, oh man, this sucks.
Yeah.
No, I seriously, not a day goes by that I don't get a comment on the video that I did about the comfort issues and the optical issues that I have, where I'll get either people will tell me, yeah, same exact problems that you have, John, or they tell me same exact problems plus it fogs. So
Really?
it's like it's like 3 or 2 problem. Like everybody's got some problem with those.
Really,
things.
John? Not a day goes by.
I mean, almost.
There you go.
Oh, it feels like it. Feels like it.
Well, see, that's why I was
Turned off
asking
comment notifications
why,
on that video because I just kind of got tired of seeing it pop up.
that's why I was asking why somebody like Ian over at MadSat keeps, he says that the fogging issue is horrible, the fit is horrible, the screen view is horrible, but he prefers those over the V2s.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Is the OLED screens that much better?
They're beautiful.
Because I've seen a comment in the chat earlier that they run 1080p at 100 frames a second. The V2s on the O3 system can run 810 at 120 frames a second.
And 810 and 1080 is not a huge difference, guys.
No, but the 100 and 120 frames a second is a big difference.
Listen, the
And
OLED
the V2s
screens
are running that.
OLED screens are gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. The OLED screens are really, really, really nice. And that's why if I could get a nice fitment with them and perfect optics, then I would love to use them. But it's just not worth trading. It's just not worth trading that nose discomfort and the vignetting or whatever and decreasing the display size to be able to use the. And plus, I don't have the fogging issues, but I have light leak. But I'll tell you why I don't have fogging issues with them. It's because that foam doesn't seal on my face. So if I were to buy foam that's
the light leak keeps you from having the fogging issue.
Yes. So basically. I guarantee, I mean, I haven't tried it, but I would not be shocked that if I were to get a shim, if I were to put a shim in or get a thicker foam or whatever, at least around the sides, if I were to seal that off, then I probably would end up with fogging as well. But I haven't tried it.
Because some people have had like similar the same problem, like you're saying, without it sealing to your face, they're not getting the fogging. As soon as they put them up, to do some stuff, and then they pull them back down, now they're all fogged up because they were more sealed up here than they are on your face.
To be fair, the V1 or V2 stock foam was not good either. I mean, I had light leak on that too, but it did not create the optic issues and it did not have the level of discomfort that the stock Goggle 2 foam had for me, or stock Goggle 2 frame has for me. So
yeah, and once you upgraded the V1s or the V2s to the new foam, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of different foam that you can get for the V1 and the V2. I mean, it's a more mature product line, and there are all these different foams because the optics are more forgiving at the angle that you look at them and how far your face can be from the goggle and still have a good picture. So that's why, like, if anybody's considering the Goggle 2 or the V2 and they're worried about the optics, it's just easier to go the Goggle 2. There's just so many more options for you.
Right. Now, see, my perfect goggles would be the V2s if they had diopters. I mean, I know you can get the lenses to put in them, but if they already had the diopter adjustment, G2s would be no question, never to buy.
Sure.
Yeah. Same here. Ed, yeah, short days right now at winter. I can't wait until.
I hate it.
Well, we've only got a few more days, and then from every day onward gets more daylight. We're a few days out from the darkest day of the year, so I'm ready to be done with that.
Me too. So Neil says, should I upgrade the foam on my V1s? It's almost 2 years old now. Well, if
Oh,
if
God,
they're-
Newbie
yeah.
Drone Max Comfort Foam, man, awesome.
No, you go
no?
to Race Day Quads. Get the new improved foam from Race Day Quads. It is.
I love the Newbie
awesome.
Drone Foam. I love the Newbie Drone Foam though. But,
It might be the same foam.
See, I'm trying to look for the same thing for my V2s, but I want it in red because my brand is red, right? Flyzone
Right.
is red and black and white, whatever. And I have, I got my goggles right now.
you have a lime green accent cap on right now though.
I know, right? And shirt. Look at the
Yeah, that's the hat, but
I had to bust your balls about that a little bit.
here. See, I want it to be because you see how everything's red. Sammy made me this anyway, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
that.
that's
I know where that
sweet.
came from.
Little 3D print.
Yeah, and you see
Yeah.
how it's all like red, and I want the
Yeah.
foam to be
I
red.
love it.
I'm still on the original one, you know, because
Oh,
I can't find the red one. I want the red one.
could you dye it?
Dye what? This?
Take the new foam. It's foam. Put it into a dye like you dye clothes with.
Not this
You soak
foam,
it
not
in
the
a
original
dye.
not the original DJI foam.
No, the new foam. It's actual foam. So I was wondering
Sergio,
if you could dye it.
Sergio, if you want, I will send you my official DJI sponge foam. And the reason why is because I am not going to ever use it again. And the reason for that is because for me, the official DJI sponge foam, really comfortable, but it messes with my glasses. The Newbie Drone foam is not thick to the point that it screws with my glasses. So if you want that foam, I'll send it out to you.
Yeah,
It's literally
that'd be
just
great.
sitting in a box.
All right. That's
Yeah,
not
see,
great.
red,
you make a
though.
good point.
Thank you,
make a
man.
good point because with the
Appreciate
new
that.
foam, I can't wear my glasses. I have to fly without my glasses because they did. And if you take the goggles off, the glasses come off, and you got to try to squeeze them
I
in
cut
there.
some
and-
small slits in the Newbie Drone foam because it's not as thick and my glasses just go in and out. And
Oh,
when I
yeah.
pull my goggles off my face, my glasses are still on my face. But with that official DJI sponge foam, it was just too damn thick.
Yeah, it's thick.
Yeah, thanks, John. I'll take them. But you can I?
Sure.
What color are they? They black, right?
It's just black. That's the official color. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
your brand color, but
Right.
it's
That's all right.
it's way better than the foam you've got. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, because it's just sitting in a box, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ooh, really good question.
Do you guys think DJI will just end support on the V2s or Vistas? I mean, what a long time.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to use the V2s and the Vistas as an entry point into digital, and then you can move up to the G2s and the O3 unit if you wanted to upgrade.
Right. Well, the
Who knows? They might
Vistas.
have a replacement product for the
Because the
those
price
things in the
point on the
future.
V2s and the Vista, well, not the Vistas, but the V2s is way down. So that would be your entry to the goggles. Then you could use the Vistas or the O3 unit with that goggle. And then if you wanted to upgrade, they have the G2 goggles.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure
And now
DJI. Go
they've
ahead.
got hooked up with RunCam to keep making the Vistas and whatnot. So why would they do that if they're going to, get rid of the Vista units?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure DJI is working with because they're working with RunCam now on the cameras. I'm sure they're gonna come up with something with the Vistas that's gonna be better than the ones we have now.
I'll go out on a
camera-wise.
limb and say that I think that we probably have another, at least another year and a half before a decision like that might start to run through DJI's head about stopping production of those things. And if they do that, I think the reason that they would do it is because they would have a successor to
Right.
those products. Because right now, O3 is great, fine, it's great, but it is not a drop-in replacement for the Vista. It's not. I mean, the amount of camera options that we have right now for the Vista is way more diverse than we have for the O3 air unit. There's just enough of a difference in those product lines that it doesn't make sense to drop that. But with DJI, eventually they always will drop something. The question is when. I think that the lease on life for that series of products has been greatly extended because they just did the development work to integrate it into the Goggle 2 and all that. So
well, then
a year and a half,
given,
we'll see.
Like you were saying, given with you can't just drop in the O3 unit. Look at how many of these frame companies and quad manufacturers are having to modify their frames just for the camera. Not given the O3 unit will fit right in, but the camera doesn't fit on many of these quad frames.
Correct. And you have to mount that camera a special way too in order to not introduce vibrations because the gyros in the thing. I mean, it's just it's not a drop-in replacement. I think that if DJI was going to end support for the Vista and air units anyway, that they would probably have a replacement product because O3 is not a drop-in replacement. Yeah.
I think one of the things they could do right off the bat to make the O3 more appealing is to change the camera where it does fit your existing frames and stuff like that. Maybe they put the original DJI camera with it or something of that size.
Yeah. I don't even think I could fit an O3 air unit in that plane, right? It might just be a tad little bit too big. Not a lot of room in there. Might be able to get it in there, but I don't know.
Well, one question that a lot of people have asked about how do you mount the O3 unit? Because there's no, with the Vistas, you have the 20 by 20 holes that go straight through. The air unit, you pretty much just glue in. Well, if you on the new O3 unit, if you have the holes right in your frame, you take the 4 bottom screws out of the O3 unit, and then you run screws through the frame up into those 4 holes. Yeah. That will hold in the. That's how it's made to be mounted.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the O3, Mike?
No. I do it on the older unit.
Yeah.
The
I've seen somebody's video that they had out that said you just remove those 4 bottom screws and then you run. It's like my my Ichysac flight controller. It has screw holes on the bottom. You just run screws up into the bottom, and that's what.
See, John.
Let's see.
And I got
3.
Yep. And I got nylons going through from the bottom so it doesn't touch the right in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
work.
the way to do it. No, I have 3.5 inch quads too that I fly. That O3 air unit's not going to fit on those little builds. So no, they've got to come up with something that's going to replace the Vista that would be superior before they dropped it.
So Lon said, do y'all know that the standard camera won't plug into the air unit? O3 air unit.
That's not 100% true. The pin connector on the Vista end, the O3 unit end, has more pins to it, but the camera end plug has the same amount of pins. So I don't know if whatever reason the pin out is different. But I do know that instead of the cable like we have now, both having the same amount of pins on both ends, the O3 unit has more pins on the unit plug, but it has the same pins on the camera plug. But I don't know if the pin out's different or why that's that way.
Yeah.
Maztec did a video on that, and it showed 30 pins on this side, and then the same amount of pins on the camera side. So your old cables and stuff like that won't work if you have to replace them.
Yeah. Yep. Exciting stuff, guys. So this is gonna be nice. This is gonna be something new that we're gonna be doing on the stream, and walkthroughs and new stuff that comes out for FPV. We're not removing Fly Zone Drone Show. This right here is going to be just like once in a while we get news or update or anything like that on FPV. We'll pop in, we'll show everybody, we'll walk everyone through it. It's better because me and Sergio talked about it. We're like, people want to learn things, right? So it's better to, instead of people calling us, you know how people call us through Messenger, oh, how you do this, how you do. It's better to have a live stream and you're live, and if they have questions, they can type them in the chat, and then we can show them here live on the thing. So, you know. So yeah, so John, I want to talk a little bit about the ExpressLRS because, well, John's not in yet, so. Let's see.
What about ExpressLRS?
Well, what I did, well, I already talked to you about this. Remember, I told you that I did the update on ExpressLRS for this, right?
Oh yeah, and you fried. It got fried.
No, I didn't get fried. Because with ExpressLRS receivers, it's impossible to like not letting it work anymore. Like you can unlock things with ExpressLRS, right? So here's the thing. I did an update on 3.0, and I remember that Joshua Bardwell did a video saying that the 3.0, when you do the update on Wi-Fi in the ExpressLRS configurator, and you're loading this through Wi-Fi, you'll get an error 9 or error 10, not enough storage. So you have to go and get the repetitioner of
you gotta repartition it.
Yeah, repartition it. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
And you have to do that. Drop it in the, to update it. You update it, and then you put the 3.0 firmware on there. I did that, and now my light's completely blue. When I turn the quad on, it's just blue. It's like bricked. So now I tried to find a pin where you can bridge it. You know what I'm talking about? Where you can bridge two pads together on this, and this beta FPV doesn't have it on here. So now I have to get maybe a dongle to unlock it, to reflash it. You know what I mean, John? That dongle from beta FPV. Oh, we can't hear John.
Yeah, I know what
you
you're talking about. Yeah.
So there's no other way. I mean, I tried everything, dude. Unless you know a way, John. Probably not.
No. Unfortunately, no. If you're at that point, you probably need to get that dongle.
Yep. Damn it. What is it like? $7?
Something
$17?
like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
I think it's expensive.
Yeah, what the heck? I'll buy it. No biggie.
We had a question. Can you
From
plug
who?
a standard camera into an 03 air unit, like one of the Cadex cameras? Huh. I didn't think you could.
Well, see, that's what I was telling Lon. On the cable, the camera end has the same amount of pins as the one we have now. So you could actually plug the camera in, but the other end on the 03 unit has like 30 pins. It's got more pins. So I don't know what the pin out is. I've never tried it because I don't have an 03 unit. But the cable will fit on one of the standard cameras, and then you could go from there to see if you actually get video or whatever.
Interesting. I haven't heard anybody. I haven't heard anybody do that. I feel like if it was possible, somebody would have mentioned it by now.
Yeah, I only learned of the difference in the pins from Maztec. Ian over at Maztec. He showed that the 03 unit has more pins, but the camera end of that cable has the same amount of pins. So you could technically plug it into the camera, but will it
get any image from it?
Depending on the pin out. Yeah, I don't know if it's different.
Interesting.
So whoever has a 03 unit, try plugging in an OG camera or a Cadex Pro or Polar Pro or whatever and see if you get video. It certainly wouldn't hurt
something to try.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of anybody doing that, so I kind of just figured it's not possible, but maybe it is.
But you know what? I was just thinking, even though it has the same amount of pins, the pin out has got to be different because it's getting gyro information and everything else from that new camera. So there's gonna have to be a lead for the gyro information and all that stuff compared to the old cameras.
Yeah.
I would think. So I don't know. Somebody has an 03 unit, give it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm assuming it just won't take a Vista camera, but who the hell knows? I
Yeah.
could be wrong. I haven't seen anybody talk about that because, like, that would be great if you could use the O3 Air unit with other cameras just to have an option. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of having the O3 Air unit, I guess, but
But yeah, it wouldn't be that bad if you like plugged it into a Nebula Pro or even one of the OG Vista cameras. The
right,
OG
yeah, because then
DJI
'cause you
cameras.
need that gyro data. You might not even care about the HD thing. You might be like me,
Right.
where you just want to have a freestyle rig. You don't care. You just want a cheap camera to
Right.
throw on there. So
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
cool if that did work. No, you wouldn't have gyro data with any of the cameras for the Vista series because they don't have a gyro data on they don't have a gyro on those cameras.
In the camera, no.
But if the pin is the same, like if you can plug it in on the camera side,
Mhm.
then in theory, they could
But
just not record that information.
Well, but would you still get the gyro information from the flight controller? Because that's how you get the gyro for gyro flow now.
When you do that separately, you just do that as
Yeah.
a separate process.
Yeah, because it would still have to record the gyro data file.
MIPI cables tend to be pretty different though. Like you can't use an HD0 MIPI cable with a DJI. I mean, they
Right.
tend to be very purpose built. So I wouldn't be
Right.
shocked if it's not possible. I'm still assuming it's not possible because I've seen nobody mention that it can be done. And I'm
That's
getting
true.
cat hair in my mouth. That's great.
I'll wait
It was
for it.
all over
Somebody
me.
else is going to call it something else. Something else hair.
Yep. Who will be
know they
first to
will.
do it? Who will be first?
Whoever does it first gets a
Probably
prize.
Lon. It would be
Prize.
Lon.
You get Sergi. You get the old foam.
There you go. You get
Mike's
Mikey's old foam.
Mike's old foam. Sorry, yeah, you
There
get
you go.
Mikey's old foam.
You get my old phone. What's up, Mr. JRCS? JRCs. That's how he says it, right? Mr. JRCs? That's J, guys.
Lon wants to know what were you doing off camera, Kubi?
What was I doing off camera?
That's what Lon wanted to know.
Oh. That's messed up.
He was itching his sack.
That's only if you shave it that it itches.
Itchy sack. Yeah,
Took
so
me a
there
while
we
to
have.
realize what you did there.
It's funny. So for anybody that's interested in doing something on the summer of 2023, guys, if you're not doing anything and you're near Wisconsin or near the Midwest area, or if you want to come to the Midwest area and you want to travel across, we have the Quad Mafia FPV Palooza August 4th, 5th, and 6th. The Eagle River, Wisconsin. We got a lot of sponsors this year. I mean, don't think a lot, but we have a lot. It's not huge a lot. It's a lot.
Mikey, you gotta put up Lon's post.
Let me see.
Yeah, let's see. What did he say?
Right after Mr. JRC's. It's Lon's post right after Mr. JRC.
This one?
There you go. There you go. I don't remember Tigger from being such a wise ass.
Lon. Gotta love Lon, man. Unbelievable.
So Sergio's
any ladies in the chat? Absolutely not. What are you kidding?
My buddy here.
No, full on sausage fest.
Yeah, Sergio just called here.
Oh.
Baby Sammy come out?
That's why I left the stream for a little bit. So they're there, and you can hear it. You can hear at the end on the background crying, screaming, bro.
Oh.
She's in pain right now.
Baby Sammy's coming out sideways.
Yeah, I think he's coming out today, guys. I think the new baby's coming out today. Absolutely.
Baby Franco.
Dude, all I have to say, guys, I'm glad I'm not a woman. That's it. Screw that, bro. Screw that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that should do it for tonight, guys.
Yeah.
There you have it. The Betaflight 4.4 WTFOS, the HC live stream. John Cuppi, it's always great to have you, man. We appreciate you coming in always, man. You're a great help
Thanks, John.
in the FPV community. You guys have any questions for John Cuppi, reach out to him. I have his link to his YouTube down in the description, and Sammy too. Sammy, you're great. You always help us out too. And Sammy's link is in the description as well. And all this stuff,
guys.
all this is in there too about what we talked about today. So
Thanks, John.
Have a good
Appreciate it.
one.
so guys,
Thanks for
yeah.
having me.
Good night. No problem. Thanks for being
Good
here,
night,
John.
guys.
You guys have a good night, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you hit the like button, or else I'll kill you.